Welcome to 2K Sports, and we've got basketball. I'm Damon Bruce. Friday Hoops Fest coming up next. It'll be LeBron James and the Miami Heat facing off against Rajon Rondo and the Boston Celtics. And that's all from the studio. I'll be back soon with the HP Halftime Report, but now I'll toss it over to Kevin Harlan and the rest of the crew.
It's Eastern Conference action as the Miami Heat come to town. Live from the Northeast in Boston, Massachusetts, the Celtic fans getting ready to go. Welcome to the NBA. Kevin Harlan here with Steve Kerr and Clark Kellogg for 2K Sports for this Friday afternoon broadcast. All right, presented by State Farm, let's take a look at the Miami starting five. Wade and LeBron are the wingmen. Chris Bosh is out there with Joel Anthony, and it's Chalmers in at the point. And for the Celtics, Ray Allen, Paul Pierce on the wings. Kevin Garnett and Jermaine O'Neal at the 4 and 5. And it's Rondo in at the point guard position.
Guys, the record was 37-15 for the Celtics against the Eastern Conference last season. Still one of the powerhouses, not just in the conference, but in the league.
And so off the tip, it's Boston. Feeds to Pierce. Back to Rondo. They're moving the ball. Here's Garnett. Connects on the open J. Garnett's got the game going here with the first basket for the Celtics. Let me ask you guys here, going back to the Celtics, eliminated by the Heat in 5 games in the playoffs. Clark, are they still a factor in the East? Steve?
Oh, yeah, they're still a factor. I mean, Miami is so good right now, but remember, Boston had an excellent regular season. They've got plenty of talent. They've got some good young players with Rondo and Jeff Green. And Boston will still be a major player in the Eastern Conference this year.
Earlier, Doris Burke spoke with head coach Eric Spoelstra. And what'd you find out, Doris?
Kevin, he told me he communicated to his players the need for an unselfish offensive attitude tonight. Sometimes we get caught up trying to do too much as individuals, so I told my guys, the more touches we get every trip, the happier I'll be. Kevin?
Okay, Doris, thanks. So Clark and Steve, they'll be focusing first and foremost on their offense today.
And I guess what they're thinking, guys, is if they can get going at that end of the floor, it'll carry over to the defensive end.
Well, that's generally the way it works. I mean, offense feeds your defense and vice versa. But if you can bring energy and score points early, that's going to be a huge help for this club today.
Here's Chalmers, following the score by Kevin Garnett. 6 on the shot clock. Chalmers dishes to Wade. Over Rondo. Wade gets the bucket.
You know, to have somebody as dependable as he is on the offensive end, that's extremely invaluable to this team.
Well, there's so many questions a year ago about the Miami Heat and how the pieces would fit, in particular how Wade and LeBron would work out together, and I think they figured it out as the course of the year went on, and Wade ended up playing most of his minutes at the 2-guard spot.
It's stolen by Wade.
Boy, loss of concentration, and he...
Oh, and the jam by LeBron. Now let's check out the Sprite Slam Cam.
Well, he took that one to the rack with some purpose.
I'll say beautiful dunk there, Steve.
Yeah, how about the agility? Just the power and the skill, impressive.
Rondo kicks to O'Neal. Now Anthony defending. O'Neal passes to Pierce. Over James, and another basket for Boston.
He knows how to get to the basket, guys, especially when the defense is soft like it was there.
Wade with it, and Allen picks him up defensively. Bosh, a screen on Pierce. LeBron outside. Bosh, the screen. Clock at 4. LeBron with the bucket.
That's going to be important for this team to fight over the top of screens defensively.
Yeah, you got to tag him and stay right close to him because with his touch, he doesn't need much space to get his shot off.
Now here's Rondo. Here's O'Neal. And Pierce backs in. Tries in the post. And he makes good on the layup.
You know, he can actually be dominant inside. I mean, it's impossible to push him around on the low block.
Here's LeBron. 4-point game.
Well, you could see last season with the big three that early on offensively they couldn't quite figure it out. But as the season went on, they got more and more comfortable with each other. And I thought by the end of the year, they played pretty well together.
And Miami calls their first time out of the game. And you're right, Steve, about what you said in regard to the Heat. You know, anytime you bring new guys together, there is a feeling out period. But, Clark, obviously this was an extreme case.
Yeah, I agree with both of you there. I mean, it just takes a lot of time and massaging when you have that much star power coming together for guys to figure out their roles and then accept their roles and excel in them. That's a three-pronged process.
A lot.
Yep.
A lot to deal with. Christich checked in for Boston. Davis comes in for Kevin Garnett. And then for Miami, Haslam comes in for Joel Anthony. Eddie House subbed in for Mario Chalmers. We've got 1:23 left in the first quarter of the game. Here is House, and Bosch backs down, and he races to the bucket for two. Bosch has got his first 2 points. The Celtics with the lead. Davis with a screen on LeBron. LeBron against Pierce. Outside Rondo, just 5 on the clock. The Celtics need to get a shot off. Allen for 3. Basket is good. The assist from Rondo. Allen's got himself going there. His first points of the game on the deep ball. Backing down is LeBron. Lets it go. Again, the Heat good for 2.
I think their only hope now, Clark, is to slow him down with a double team.
Well, they got to stop the bleeding, put the tourniquet on, and he's been tough to play straight up.
Shot and game clock separated by 5. Dishes to Davis. Over Haslam. And there are the Celtics with another basket.
That was all about the assist there. Just a beautiful feed.
And here comes LeBron. He has 6. No good from outside. 1 second left. Pierce. No good trying to beat the buzzer. The scoring fast and furious as we end the first quarter. Celtics lead by 5.
Yeah, this team is on the same page, no question. They're right where they need to be offensively.
And they're hitting their scores with on-time and on-target passes, too. That's fun to watch.
We'll be back momentarily. And the first quarter is in the books. Second about ready to get underway. Here's Chalmers.
You know, for Glenn Davis, Kevin, last season was the best of his career. I mean, he managed to cut down on getting his shot blocked and up his field goal percentage as a result.
So with LeBron on the bench, this is who Eric Spoelstra has on the floor. Chris Bosh is out there with Joel Anthony. Then it's Mike Miller. Then there's Haslam. And it's Chalmers in at the 1 spot. Well, Glenn Davis not the longest guy at the power forward, Steve, so you knew it would be an adjustment for him scoring in the NBA.
Yeah, he's a very interesting player. I mean, he really doesn't have any lift at all, doesn't score over the top of people, but he finds a way. He creates angles. He uses his strength and his agility and his soft hands, and he just figures out a way to get the shot up.
Now, here's Chalmers. Passes it to Bosh. West picks him up, puts it up, and the Heat get another bucket right there.
Now, the defense just couldn't get a hand in his face, couldn't challenge the shot.
Yeah, it made his height advantage count that time.
Here's Davis. Great pass to set up the lay-in.
You know, it's really interesting, guys. The Celtics considered kind of a jump shooting team. You think of Paul Pierce and Ray Allen, but they were 25th in three-pointers made and 5th in the league in shots made at the rim. So a little bit of a contradiction there based on what you might think.
So the Celtics called timeout, their first. And Doris Burke has a report for us from the sideline.
Hi, Kevin. Well, one of the big turning points for Miami and the Big Three was an early season loss to the Dallas Mavericks. Their record was 9-8 at that point, and as it turned out, the Mavs would be their finals opponent. Wade said of the team meeting that followed that loss, at that meeting, letting us know to be friends and to be real with each other. If we see something wrong with our game, point it out. I think we all looked at each other and held each other accountable with our games. That was a significant moment in the Heat season.
Thank you, Doris. That game served as a wake-up call for the Heat early on.
You know, I remember that game. You could see the Heat were a different team after that loss last year, and I think it helped them get to the finals.
Boston making some changes. Paul Pierce is checked in for West, and it's Allen in for Rajon Rondo. Then for the Heat, LeBron, he's checked in for Bosh. And Dwayne Wade subbed in for Joel Anthony. Here's Pierce. Garnett dishes to Pierce. Releases from 15. And Garnett with the basket on the assist by Pierce. 6 points for Garnett. The Heat trail by 3. And here is Chalmers. Haslam a screen on Davis. Good look. Again, the Heat good for 2.
You look at their scoring. Mid-range jumpers account for 6 of their last 10 points.
Well, defensively, they're doing a nice job of keeping them out of the paint, but you got to give them credit. They're knocking down shots.
Now here's Allen. Now here's Pierce. Lets it go from deep. There's Allen. That's good on the assist by Pierce. Pierce has got 3 assists in the game. And Miami has possession, trailing by 4.
Ray Allen is one of the great shooters in league history. And a lot of people say he was born to shoot. He definitely has a natural touch. But it's his work ethic that sets him apart. He puts in a lot of time with that jump shot.
Timeout called, the Heat.
And you know Ray Allen, I mean, a lot of people didn't know this. Ray Allen played center in high school, and he had a really flat jump shot, no arc at all. So like he said, that picture-perfect long-range shot we now see, really, that's the product of his great work ethic.
And some changes here for the Celtics. Chris Ditchy's checked in for Garnett. O'Neal comes in for Glenn Davis. And Delonte West is subbed in for Jeff Green. Then for the Heat, Joel Anthony's checked in for Haslam. Wash comes in for Mike Miller. Eddie House subbed in for Mario Chalmers. Here's Bosh. 8 points for him. And they turn it over. Stepped in the line that time.
Well, Miami had such a turbulent season last year as far as the drama that surrounded that team. But they were consistent and steady on the road, and they ended up with the best away record in the Eastern Conference.
Allen kicks it to West. Floats a runner. LeBron knocks it away. The Heat trail by 4. Wade outside. LeBron passes to House. Clock at 6. Wade. Over West. Wade misses. And back to Miami. You know, Clark, road trips aren't easy when you're the villains of the NBA. And there's no doubt that wanted poster in the NBA has got a picture of that Miami threesome up there. Huh?
I agree. No doubt about it. But I think that also helped them come together. You know, teams typically do a good job of bonding when they're on the road. That us against them mentality, nobody fool you. And quite honestly, really good teams and players enjoy winning on the road more than they do even winning at home.
Now let's go to Doris Burke. Doris?
Well, Kevin Garnett, known for his ferocity defensively, and it even extends to after the whistle blows. He's known around the league for snatching down any shots opponents take at his basket in dead ball situations. Garnett said, you know, that's rhythm. When a guy gets an extra shot after the whistle, he's looking at his form, he's looking at his follow-through, and then I just like to break that rhythm up. And in fact, the practice has caught on with other players. KG said they called that the Garnett. The game's passed on. I guess that's what I'm going to be remembered for, so that's a good thing. Guys?
All right, Doris, and no surprise, he'll be remembered for his defense.
And KG, a guy who will use that mental warfare. He wants his opponent to feel frustrated. That's the motivation for him sometimes.
Here is House. From downtown, and that one's good.
And a three the other way.
Back and forth we go, neither side giving an inch.
West kicks to Allen, fires the three, and again, Boston with the triple.
Another open look, hits bottom from outside.
Yeah, and that's 3 of their last 5 makes from beyond the arc.
LeBron outside. Jams it straight down.
Let's call him a speed merchant. I mean, he was a blur going in for that throwdown.
Good if it goes. No good. And it's more NBA action coming your way here on 2K Sports.
Welcome to the HP Halftime Report. I'm Damon Bruce. A great game going on out in Boston. Boston leading against Miami. They've kept the defense off balance with their great passing attack. Ray Allen's been tremendous in the first half. You can see as the first half went along how comfortable he became. He just took the game over. And on the other side, Miami's still scrapping. They've been working the ball inside, getting in close, easy points around the rim. LeBron is their leading scorer, and Chris Bosh also been getting it going for them. And we check out the players leading their teams in scoring. A lot of offense coming from these two. Thanks so much for joining me at halftime. We send you back out to Kevin and the gang.
Welcome back, everyone. The second half about to get underway, and it's been a close one so far. Here's Wade. Rondo and Allen make up the backcourt. Pierce and KG at the 3 and the 4. And it's O'Neal in at the center. That's the 5 to begin the second half for Doc Rivers. Now here's Bosh, trailing by 5. 6 to shoot. LeBron against O'Neal. Good on the shot. LeBron's now got the first points of the second half here for the Heat. Celtics leading by 3.
You know, you take a look at the makeup of the Heat and the offensive numbers last year. Not a ton of assists, but a lot of free throw attempts. FTAs, we call them. Seemed like they just played to their strengths, and a lot of that was isolating their star player.
He feeds it to Chalmers. Back to LeBron. Puts up the baby hook. And so he earns a trip to the line. Official saw the contact, and he'll shoot 2. It's on Kevin Garnett. Well, Clark, you mentioned that stat about the Heat. Steve, surprising they didn't have more assists.
Well, they didn't have a true point guard running things. Mike Bibby was more of a jump shooter, same with Chalmers. But I think a lot of it is that they play very isolation-heavy basketball, as Clark mentioned. And when LeBron joined the Heat last year, guys, I think he really wanted to play with a scorer. You know, LeBron's more of a playmaker, a guy who creates offense for others. And I think he pictured himself teaming up with Wade to be the backcourt of the future.
He hits both from the stripe. Going back to what Steve said about LeBron and Wade, Clark, it got a little contentious there, it seemed at times.
Well, you had to expect that to happen, Kevin. I mean, again, 2 outstanding players, 2 brilliant players trying to figure out how to play together. The fact is that LeBron, by his nature, is comfortable deferring. He loves to set other people up, and he's comfortable also taking over when needed. So I think the fact that it took a little while is overblown because that was to be expected. It's not something that was going to come together quickly and at a high level.
Both can be unselfish.
Exactly, and Wade can attack, and LeBron is fine watching him do that.
Timeout called the Heat.
And Paul Pierce is not particularly fast or quick, but he's very strong and he's crafty, and he finds angles. He finds a way to get his shot off, and that's one of the reasons he puts up great offensive numbers year after year.
The Heat making a switch here. Haslam's checked in. Here's Chalmers. The dish to LeBron. Goes right up. Blanketed by the D. He fights to the rim for the layup. LeBron's now got 14. Back to Paul Pierce and what Steve was talking about, what you've chimed in on with the way the Celtics play. It's a perfect marriage, Clark, between them because he can be so effective in that half-court game.
He really can be. I mean, he's versatile enough where you can use him a lot of different ways. You can post him, you can curl him off screens, or you can isolate the side of the floor for him, and he can get you good quality shots and become a better playmaker in addition to being one of the terrific scorers.
That's a great observation. Here's LeBron. He's got 14. From 18 feet away. Again, the Heat good for two.
It's been all makes for him so far this half. 3 chances and 3 conversions so far. Guys, I think the Celtics actually came into the playoffs last season with a little less swagger than usual. I mean, losing Kendrick Perkins in the trade seemed to shake them up a little bit, and with Shaq really unable to contribute due to injuries, a team used to being big inside perhaps felt a little smaller.
He has so much confidence, guys. What a finish.
Here comes Rajon Rondo. Back to Pierce. He's picked up by LeBron. Here's Garnett. An easy layup after coming off the pick. Garnett's got 8. Hard to set the table there well with the Celtics and their injuries that did play a role in the postseason, not just in the front court. The dislocated elbow of Rajon Rondo also factored in. Steve, that was a huge hit for that team.
Yeah, I was amazed that he was able to return in that game and continue to play the rest of the series, but it did limit him. And with Rondo slowed down, the Celtics had a tough time scoring. In fact, Miami really played him and Boston kind of 5-on-4. They didn't honor his offense, and it really cost Boston.
Time called here. The Celtics decide to talk it over.
Well, we all know what a fiery, competitive team the Celtics are, with Kevin Garnett in particular. And that's one of the reasons they were second in the NBA in technical fouls last season.
Boston making some changes. Davis comes in for Jermaine O'Neal, and it's Green in for Paul Pierce. Joel Anthony's checked in for the Heat. Miller comes in for LeBron. .121 left to play in the third. Rondo gets to Allen. The feed to Garnett. Back to Allen. And it's Miller picking him up. Outside, Davis. Shot clock at 6. Jumps up. And Rajon Rondo, the basket on the assist by Davis. And the Celtics lead by 2. Here's Chalmers. Wade outside. And Allen picks him up defensively. Off the screen. The layup good by Wade. Wade's got 6.
Boy, nice pick there, guys. I mean, gave him the space he needed for the hoop.
Outside Rondo. Davis working against Haslem. Shoots, and another basket for Boston.
They are just lighting him up from mid-range area.
You know, sometimes we forget about the value of the mid-range or in-between game. This team has made 8 of their last 10 with that shot, the in-between shot.
Wade, defended by Allen. Anthony with the screen on Allen. 6 on the shot clock. Wade dishes to Anthony. He kicks to Chalmers for the lead. Shot is off. Here's Rondo. Shot no good. And the game still closely contested as we end the third quarter. Ray Allen really has his fingerprints all over this one.
Now, it's been nothing but positive for this team. The way he's been really selective with his shot making, been very unselfish. I think this has been an efficient performance for him.
I agree with you, Steve. Very few questionable decisions, if any, from him, as he has always looked for the best shot every trip down the floor. I mean, I like the fact that he's judicious in his approach.
Celtics out in front, up 2. As the fourth quarter gets rolling here, let's check out our Sprite Spark of the Game, presented by Sprite. Hey, Doris.
Kevin, for that great stretch the Celtics put together, they get the Sprite Spark Award. The team got on a hot streak in the second quarter, started scoring in bunches, and haven't let up since. It's the main reason why they head into the fourth with this great lead.
Great stuff as always, Doris. Thank you. Clark, that was the game's critical point.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I really think it was. I mean, it really tipped things in their favor. No doubt about it.
Man, that's going to happen to you when you keep piling up those points and you get on a run like that.
So with Wade on the bench, this is who Eric and slam dunk. Wow! Now the Sprite Slam Cam for the replay.
Yes, indeedy. Boy, I love that one. That's not just any plain dunk. That has some panache to it.
That's an energizer, guys. That is an energizer.
That is, and that will lift the whole team up.
Now here is Davis. Covered by Anthony. Davis, the pass to Green. Back to Davis. Goes straight up, and he drops in the layup off the glass. And the Celtics lead by 2.
Boy, every time they drop it in, they do so from close range. Easy baskets.
Yeah, high percentage looks time and time again, guys, and it's paying off for them the way they're playing this game. I like their strategy.
Boy, he brought the big man stuff that time.
And they wanted nothing to do with him.
Yeah, not what the coach had in mind when he drew up the defensive game plan.
West kicks to Pierce. He's picked up by LeBron and stolen by LeBron.
The water's been choppy for him since halftime from a turnover standpoint. He had just 1 in the first half, but that number has skyrocketed since.
And foul called as he misses. He'll go to the line and shoot 2.
Jeff Green, of course, part of that controversial trade for Kendrick Perkins last year at the deadline. The Celtics were very concerned about their backup 3 position. They saw a chance to get Green, a talented player, but in doing so, they gave up a very popular player in Perkins.
Free throw good, Green. And for the Celtics, Steve, you can remember back to their championship season of 2008. They had that offensive lineup, which included a guy named James Posey playing the 4. So, Clark, maybe you'll see Jeff Green playing a similar role.
That could be, perhaps, Kevin. I mean, I think the trade may have set them back in the short term, but that wasn't all on Jeff Green. I mean, chemistry is really a delicate dynamic, and losing Perk seemed to have affected the team a little more than they expected. But I think going forward, the Jeff Green acquisition is going to bode well and serve the Celtics well.
Now here's Wade. Clock at 6. He passes to Chalmers. Over Allen. Chalmers' shot is no good. The Celtics with the lead. Green dishes to Allen. He's picked up by LeBron. They double up Pierce. Davis back to Pierce. Over Wade. Accurate with a jumper from the elbow. 11 points for Paul Pierce.
That's 10 straight points on mid-range jump shots.
You know, the paraphrase a Bible verse that says love covers over a multitude of sins. Good shooting does the same thing in basketball.
No coverage that time. LeBron's now got 5 points now in the quarter.
He can be dangerous from outside. Sure, he didn't get one to go in the first, but we know he can get on a roll and knock him down.
Now a timeout called by Boston. And now Doris Burke has an update from the sideline.
Kevin, Doc Rivers was just addressing the plan with his team. He gave his guys the green light to keep firing from downtown, telling them, listen, I like the work you're doing out there. Keep finding those gaps on the perimeter. They're giving us open shots.
Here's what Boston's going with right now. Jermaine O'Neal is checked in for Davis. Von Wafer comes in for Jeff Green. Rajon Rondo is subbed in for Paul Pierce. Now here's Allen. Garnett with a screen on Chalmers. Goes up on the high post. Allen, that's good. And the Celtics lead by 3.
Just an unbelievable display of offense here today.
Well, it seems like every shot that goes up finds its way to the hoop. I mean, every player is sharp and on target.
Timeout called the Heat. They're behind by 3. 1:56 left in the game. Glenn Davis is checked in for the Celtics. Pierce comes in for Von Wafer. And then for Miami, Bosh comes in for Mike Miller. And it's LeBron in for Eddie House. .156 left in the fourth. Here's a quick shot and the basket by Chalmers. Here's Rondo. Outside Pierce. He's picked up by LeBron. It's Pierce on the wing. 6 to shoot. Left side Davis. Over Haslam. And Davis gets it to go. Davis has got 4 points in the quarter.
Now, we've seen this from him before. Once he gets going, look out.
Backing down is LeBron. Right up. And it's Paul Pierce with the rebound.
I think he caught a glimpse of the defender out of the corner of his eye because he just seemed to lose his focus there for a moment.
Wade is covering. Pierce the pass to Allen. For 3. That drops.
You can't fault what he's been doing out there. Some really impressive shooting.
Now Chalmers, less than 1 minute left. He's picked up by Rondo. Pierce against LeBron. It's stolen by Allen.
Well, that was not an easy play, but he made it look routine.
And so they choose to intentionally foul. Here's Rondo, and that's an intentional foul. He doesn't hit the first. Connects on number 2, and that makes it a 7-point lead.
Well, that extends their lead, but he really had a chance to close the door and just couldn't do it.
LeBron outside. LeBron left side. Wade gets to Hazard. Over Davis. Buries it. Oh, and that cuts the lead to just 5.
Well, he found the open man on the perimeter and got the ball to him.
17 seconds left in the fourth quarter. And so they foul intentionally. First free throw missing for him. Does make the second, and that increases their lead to 6.
Talk about a clutch free throw, Kev. That one just might have sealed the game.
Timeout called, the Heat. They're losing by 6. 15 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Guys, what do you think?
I think they have to go for a 3 right now, don't you, Clark?
Yeah, I don't think they have any choice but to go for the 3, Steve.
Here's LeBron. Shot from the inbound. So he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up, and 2 shots coming up. Sinks the first one, and that brings them within 5. And both free throws good for LeBron. And here's Rondo. And they need to stop the clock, so there's a foul.
Well, not much of a choice there. They pretty much had to foul.
Yeah, that's the only option they had to try to get the ball back to even this thing up.
It's the first that puts them up by 5. And he can't convert on the second. That misses. Here's Chalmers. Buries it from outside.
As if there was any question, Kev. He's just not fazed by the pressure. He stays focused and always makes big plays.
Time called here. The Celtics decide to talk it over. They're in front by 2. 6 seconds left in the fourth quarter of this one. Here's Pierce. And now an intentional foul. They need the ball back as soon as possible. Good on the first, and that makes it a 3-point lead. Hits them both, and it's a 4-point ball game.
Huge free throws there, Kevin. He just put this game out of reach.
And here's LeBron outside. Yes! And that shot brings them to within just 1. And so it's Boston scraping by with the win. It was tight, but they managed to come up with the win.
You know, nobody wants to lose a close game, Kevin. It's much better to win those tight ones.
Thanks for tuning in to the NBA on 2K Sports. For Clark Kellogg, Steve Kerr, and Doris Burke, this is Kevin Harlan. We'll see you next time. And now, our Jordan Player of the Game, Ray Allen.